Hello, this is Jonathan Cross making a video demonstration of how to make an ear for Restorative Art Lab for John A. Gupton College. So let me switch my camera around so you can see what I'm doing. All right, so here I've got some Play-Doh. I just now have been fiddling around with this before I started recording, just so that way it'd be nice and warm for whenever we worked with it. But this isn't going to be perfect by any means. This is Play-Doh after all. I'm going to do my best to keep everything I can in shot. So I've opened up just one container of Play-Doh. Here we go. I've got it out here. I'm going to make 2 ears. And I've been messing around with this for a while, but what I have found works best for me is just to take it and I'll just cut it in half there. All right, let's set that other half to the side and we'll use that for our other ear here in a little while. But now we're going to start forming just the basic shape of an ear. So I like to make it kind of like a little ball, a little cylinder almost. Let's go with something like that. It doesn't have to be big because we're going to mash this thing out, make it nice and as much like an ear as we can. So we're going to need to make one side of this just a little bit thinner than the back side. So one side will be thin, one side will be thick, and we're going to mash that out, going out towards my other hand here, just like this. Let me work with this for just a minute. And while I work with this, I'm going to still try to maintain just a basic shape of an ear. So we all pretty well know what an ear looks like, so just kind of winging it for right now. And we go back through and make these changes that I need to towards the end if I need to. It is Play-Doh after all. It don't have to be perfect the first time. You can see here this is already starting to take form, kind of like a general shape of an ear. So, and with this Play-Doh too, just in case anybody would like to know, I have had the best luck by just taking it and instead of mashing it or trying to sculpt it by actually spreading it, I've been doing a lot of padding like that to kind of form exactly what I'm wanting, like that. All right, so you can see here we've definitely got a thinner side over here, thicker side on the other end. This side will be right there on the side of the head, closest to the face. So next we'll go ahead and start to make the general form of our helix. For the helix, I like to start right about middle center of where the ear would be attached to the head. Take it and just mash that in. I've also been keeping my fingers on the sides on the outside here to help maintain, like I said, that general shape of an ear. And I'll mash in like this and then just pat around to kind of form that shape that I want. Take this, the helix generally goes down about 3/4, a little bit further down on the ear, about like that right there. And you can see we've already got a really good shape for an ear. So before I start messing around in here, what I want to do is start to form this in, and I want to make sure I've got plenty of space here for my lobe. Let's make sure we've got a nice lobe here. Can't have an ear without a good lobe. There we go. That'll work for me for now. Next, I'll go ahead and start to form kind of the concha and the external auditory meatus. So what I want to do here is take my thumb. If you start about middle section of the ear here, push that in, and I'm pushing in pretty hard. You can see about how much of an indentation I made. Take your thumb, put that in, and then I've been keeping my finger here and just move that in towards my thumb. Okay, so trying to meet your 2 thumbs together where they almost touch. And that's got a nice little area in there that we can form our concha here. And we've already got our external auditory meatus. Biggest thing that I want to focus on next would be the antihelix. And that kind of will form right around in here. And we've got so much Play-Doh up in here that we're not using. That's just right in here. So we're going to take that and we're going to pinch that up. Just pinch that up. Just to form that general antihelix we're looking for. Not like that right there. If you're not happy with the shape, just mash that around like that. It'll look about as much like an ear as we can. Next, we'll go ahead and try to get that triangular fossa. That's this little part right up in here that goes up and underneath the helix. Let's take that, and you can just take your finger and just push that up into the helix, just like that. I've been folding my helix over a little bit after I do that, just to make it a little bit more pronounced. And then really about the last couple things, just to make this more like an ear, we'll take us a little extra piece of Play-Doh off the other ear that I was saving for. So we'll take us a little bitty piece like that, roll it up into a little ball. Let's put it about right here. That's going to make what we call the antitragus. Okay, everybody has one of these. They just kind of help right there, just like that. Take us another little piece, about like that right there. They don't have to be very big at all. And we'll put that about right here, just like that. That would be where our tragus would be. I've already kind of got one formed there, so I don't really need to make one super pronounced there. I've got one formed pretty well right here. That'd be about it. If I wanted to do anything else to make that a little bit more ear-like, I could take another small piece, roll it out here nice and thin, like a little snake. Roll it out here like you can, nice and thin. That's a little bit too much. That right there. If we put this about where the helix, right where we started with it, about right there. And I made that way too long. Let's go with about something like that. We can take that here, make that ear like turn inward and go over and go right into the concha. Usually that ends right about the very center there of the concha. Okay. And that right there is about a pretty good, nice, basic little ear. So, we'll go ahead and make one more. Got us a good little ear up there. I'll make one to match. Get this Play-Doh nice and warmed up. And form this one about the same way. Try to get that nice little cylinder shape. That's what I've been doing. Start on the end right here, mashing in. And then roll that out. Just roll your finger across there, about like that. Get something that you're happy with. Like I said, I've been patting them in. It makes it a lot easier for me. We're looking for a thin side. Get that nice and thin. There we go. Onto something much thicker. There we go. And we'll show you again what we did with that first ear. All right. We got a little general shape again of the ear. Let's go ahead and start by making that helix. So, start a little bit above halfway point here, just about right there. Smash that in, just like that. Like I said, I've been keeping my fingers on the outsides here. It helps me maintain my shape of my ear, because if you mash too hard, you can quickly lose that general shape of your ear. And then about 3/4 of the way down, or a little bit more, that's exactly what I've done. So there we go there. Nice little basic shape of an ear. See, that looks a little bit too much circular for me. So just take that, squeeze them in together. Look at that. Looks a lot better. All right. And real quick, let's go ahead and form that lobe. Nice little earlobe down here. There we go. Okay, now we're looking a lot more like an ear. And again, we'll go ahead and form that external auditory meatus. So, Just take my backhand, put my thumb right about the center, like I said. Push in pretty hard. And then take your thumbs and try to meet them as close together as you can before you meet them exactly. About like that. That's got us a good little conga area, as well as our external auditory meatus. Right here kind of starts our anti-helix. We'll go ahead and start forming that next. And just take all that excess Play-Doh we've got under here, pull that up. Just pull that nice and up like that. This goes all the way around, just about like that. Okay, we'll go ahead and form that triangular fossa, which was right up in here. Push in, and then take your helix, push that around there. I got a nice little defined triangular fossa. Okay. So, last couple things we can focus on. We'll go ahead and get a little excess Play-Doh here. I want to steal a little bit off of this here, and I'll go from the back so it doesn't mess up my nice pretty little ear. Alright, we're just going to quickly form us a little tragus, which again, I still have one pretty well defined and formed right here for the inner ear. So we'll just add a little bit to the exterior part. Whoops. Something like that. Make it a little bit more defined out here. And if I were using actual sculpting or restorative art wax, it would be a lot easier, and I could blend that in very well. And then we'll take this part here, put at that base of our helix, make that meet just about the very center of the concha there. So I'm going to need a little bit more. Meet about the middle of that concha area. About like that. I'll cover up that external auditory meatus like I just did. Let's try to fix that a little bit. There we go. It's about like that. That's about all there is to it. Take me one more small piece. Just about like that. We just need one quick little anti-tragus, and I think that will just about do it. Let's put it right there, nice and defined. And there we go. There's just a couple little ears. And that's about everything that there is to it. Ears. I hope that helped explain it. If you have any questions, send me an email or let me know, and I'll get back to you as soon as I can. Thank you.